An article by Harvard Health Publications was published 2 months ago. It was called Bad Bug No Drugs, The Real End of Antibiotics, and detailed a new phenomenon emerging, superbugs. Strains of bacteria extremely resistant to antibiotics are starting to infect more and more people while development of new antibiotics are slowing. This didn't just come out of the blue. Ever since the discovery of penicillin, scientists have found out that bacteria can develop resistances against antibiotics since the 1940s. Now, why is this happening? There isn't really a way to avoid this problem. Superbugs are going to emerge anyway, but there are suggestions on how it might be accelerated. According to the CDC, 30% of all antibiotic use are unnecessary, wrongfully prescribed to conditions that are, for example, caused by viruses, not bacteria. And overuse can accelerate this phenomenon. Pharmaceutical waste is currently thought to be one cause of superbugs from Asia. Pharmaceutical waste can promote growth of superbugs in affected areas, and now it seems to be spreading to tourists, as is the case of one woman who died of a superbug after traveling from India. This all sounds bad, right? Bacteria resistant to almost all kinds of antibiotics. Well, it's not the start of a pandemic. There are new ways to treat superbugs. They're just still in development. Predatory bacteria is a new approach, a living antibiotic. One example, Vibrio bacteriovorus, are essentially cannibals, eating their own kind. They dig into a bacteria cell, eat its insides, and reproduce, stretching and expanding the host bacteria until it bursts, setting the Vibrio free. Here is a video showing this process.
Before we start the movie, we see a tiny black Vibrio predatory bacterial cell inside a bigger, fluorescently labelled prey E. coli cell. The Vibrio has invaded this cell, and as we start the movie, we see the Vibrio elongate bidirectionally, growing and using the insides of the prey cell. Then it septates unusually to give 5 progeny cells, and the E. coli goes dark as those progeny cells lyse it and escape and go on to attack more prey bacteria.
While it has not started clinical trials on humans, predatory bacteria has been successful in initial tests. For example, when Vibrio was set loose on fish larvae infected with a superbug called Shigella, survival rates soared from 25% to 60%. While that doesn't seem much, that is still a drastic improvement. And predatory bacteria can have the capacity to evolve alongside superbugs and target only harmful bacteria. There is yet another approach. This approach is fairly new and only begun to pick up momentum in the past several years. CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing is a newly developed way to edit DNA easily and efficiently, and has many potential applications in many fields, including medical and agricultural. CRISPR can also be used to chew up a bacteria's DNA, killing it. In order to explain how it could kill bacteria, I have to explain what it does. CRISPR edits genes with an enzyme called Cas9. This enzyme is extremely efficient to use for gene editing, like a surgical scalpel. What some scientists have done was replace that enzyme with Cas3, an enzyme that cuts up DNA brutally, like Pac-Man. While Cas9 can also be applied to this purpose, simply snipping the DNA, the Cas3 enzyme is much more common. CRISPR can be targeted towards specific bacteria as well, not harming any of the beneficial bacteria found in the gut or gut flora. But if I have to be honest, I haven't even started on new methods to fight disease. Phages, viruses that attack bacteria, is something the Soviet Union used for treatments since World War II, and has recently been considered for further development. And CRISPR, as I said, has many applications besides killing off superbugs, like potential treatments for cancer, which by the way have already started human trials and look very promising. All these advancements in biotechnology get me excited for the future, but these are still in development. We all still have to take precautions against these threats, but maybe in the future, disease will finally be wiped out.